Great to be back with you again this week. I was thrilled with being able to start a new Christmas series with you, all about the light of the world. I'm just really excited about the opportunity to study and prepare and take a look at that passage that this last weekend, different kind of a passage having to do with suffering and enduring of suffering for the sake of the gospel. But it has a really strong message about the importance of Christmas and importance about what Jesus came to do, and that was to bring the light of God's revelation to us. And we talked about the light of God's spiritual purpose, and we talked about the light of His redeeming work and the light of His promises to us. So we talked a lot about Jesus being the light. The one thing that I didn't get a chance to talk a little bit about is some of the prophecies that was related to Jesus being the light of the world. And I was reminded of an experience that I had with my family up at Hume Lake. Many of you are familiar with Hume and have gone up there. Maybe your kids have gone up there. Well, on one particular week, March and I, when our kids were smaller, we left Hume and went down to Boyden Cave. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a really big cave down in Kings Canyon. We went in and went through the hike. It's beautiful, and the rock formations, just magnificent. And as usual in a cave, you come to a place where the guide turns off all of the lights. It was absolutely pitch dark. I haven't been in too many circumstances where I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, but this was one of those times where there was no light whatsoever. Well, in the midst of that darkness, even the smallest, the most faint flashlight could show us the way out. Without that light, we were absolutely lost. We were absolutely helpless. There was no way we were going anywhere. We never would have found our way. But with just a little bit of light, we've found a guide for our feet. We found a pathway to follow. And it all reminded me of what the Lord Jesus was prophesied to do when He came. In Isaiah chapter 9 and verses 1 and 2, it was foretold that Jesus would go up and live in the northern part of Israel in Galilee. And that's exactly what He did. He settled into the town of Capernaum, right at the very cap or the top of the Sea of Galilee. And He went there to fulfill that prophecy. It's recorded for us, Matthew chapter 4 and verse 15 and 16. It says this was to fulfill what was spoken through Isaiah the prophet. The land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who were sitting in darkness saw a great light, and those who were sitting in the land and shadow of death, upon them a light dawned. Jesus very, very much came to be that light in a very dark place. And He wasn't a small light. He was a great light. And boy, when He shined the light of God's love and God's care and God's revelation, people had the opportunity to come out of their darkness and into the light. That's why He spoke so often about Himself being the light of the world. I know that's what I need. I find myself in some places of pretty deep confusion. I just don't know what to do. I'm glad that Jesus is the light who can show me the way. It's especially true for many, many unbelievers and those who don't yet know the Lord, really all of them. The scriptures talk about in Ephesians chapter 4 that their understanding is darkened. In Romans chapter 1 that their hearts are darkened. So both in their minds and both in their hearts, there's this pervasive darkness of sin. Well, the only way out is Jesus. And that's what we celebrate at Christmas time. And especially during your small group now, you've got a lot of questions to talk about in terms of 2 Timothy chapter 1. But keep in mind how Jesus came to be your light. It'll give you an opportunity to talk a little bit of how God led you through a dark time in your life. Maybe some of you are in it right now. And how the light can shine in, and how the light can help you, and how the light can guide you. So I hope that you have a great time interacting with each other, and I'll look forward again to being with you again when your small group meets, and as you continue to dialogue and discuss. Let me just say, from my dear Marcia and me, Merry Christmas to you, and may the Lord bless you. So you keep going with the Lord, and I'll look forward to seeing you next weekend at church.